God's advice today: stop immediately and pay attention, because God is speaking directly to you through this video. Every moment you spend ignoring the signs is an opportunity lost. This is not just another video, it is a divine call to transform your life in a tangible way. Like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, because you won't want to miss a single word. Don't wait any longer. Click on the first comment, listen to the 1-minute prayer, and discover how this product was created to support your spiritual and practical growth. Every moment of hesitation is a chance slipping away, and God wants you to take the lead now. Like, share, and let this message reach others who need hope and guidance. This is the moment for action and faith. Align your heart, mind, and decisions with what God is preparing for you. Change happens when you decide to act, and today can be the first step toward a full, blessed life filled with opportunities. God says, "My dear son, I know you still carry wounds that throb like fresh scars, memories that insist on whispering pain when you thought they had already quieted. I see the tears you shed in secret, those that traced your face in lonely pre-dawn hours when you believed no one was watching. And I know every sigh that escaped your lips when the weight of disappointment felt greater than your ability to bear it. Do you feel in your heart the desire for a deep spiritual transformation, not only in your life but also in the lives of those you love? Believe it, when we connect with God with faith and surrender, we open the way for blessings and abundance to manifest in surprising ways. A simple prayer of just 1 minute can become the starting point to renew your mind, strengthen your faith, and prepare your life to receive more peace, prosperity, and hope each day. If you want to learn how to apply this practice in your daily routine and discover paths to live more fully and abundantly, click the link in the first comment. Every step you take on this spiritual journey also supports our channel and the entire team dedicated to bringing messages that uplift your life. Don't wait any longer to take this first step of faith. Click now and allow yourself to begin a journey of spiritual renewal and inner growth. Yet understand this foundational truth: in each of those moments of apparent abandonment, I was there with you. When silence felt deafening and my answers seemed slow to come, my presence never left you for a single instant. Even when the pain screamed louder than any hope and circumstances seemed to contradict my promises, remember, in this world you will have trouble. But take heart. I have overcome the world. John chapter 16 verse 33, my love remained the unshakable foundation beneath all things, sustaining what your human strength could not uphold. Today I come to reaffirm this truth so that it will echo through every chamber of your heart until it becomes truer than any lingering hurt, that my eternal love kept you from total ruin, guarded your soul, and stands ready now to heal, renew, and lead you into the fullness I have prepared for you. Comment: God never abandoned me, even when I couldn't feel His presence. You can remain steadfast in this certainty that transcends any temporal circumstance. This is not an empty hope built on fleeting illusions or human promises that collapse at the first contrary wind. This is the absolute truth that flows from my eternal throne and echoes through every dimension of creation. My faithfulness has not shifted even a millimeter, regardless of how many storms have battered your vessel. The recent wounds that still echo within you, the questions that still seek satisfying answers, none of these have changed the fact that my truth has taken deep root in your spirit. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. In the midst of the chaos that seemed to dominate your existence, my word was being planted silently in the deepest layers of your soul, and everything that was sown by my divine hand will sprout and bear abundant fruit in the appointed time. This is the moment to embrace a liberating truth. The suffering that once brought you anguish will no longer dictate the decisions of your future. The time has come to leave behind the dead weight of the past that has kept you from walking lightly toward your destiny. You will no longer drag the painful echoes of experiences that have already fulfilled their purpose of teaching and refining. You will no longer make decisions based on the fear of repeating old patterns, nor live limited by the scars of relationships that did not bloom as you hoped. The new beginning you have longed for is not a distant promise awaiting fulfillment in some indefinite future. It has already begun. Behold, I make all things new. Revelation chapter 21 verse 5. Like the dawn that gradually slips through the curtains, driving away the night's shadows with its growing light, so my restoring work has begun to manifest in your life, even if your eyes cannot yet fully perceive its magnitude. Very soon you will witness the first rays of this new season, unmistakable signs that what once seemed stagnant is now moving with divine purpose. Subtle yet significant changes will begin to emerge, clear confirmations that my hand is orchestrating transformations beyond your limited understanding. Comment: God is writing a new chapter in my life. This is not mere coincidence nor the result of random forces of fate. It is my powerful presence penetrating territories of your existence that you could never reach on your own. I am stepping into your personal story with sovereign authority, invading your innermost thoughts with liberating truths, restoring bonds that seemed irreparably broken, opening doors that had been locked for so long you no longer believed they could be opened. I am rewriting chapters of your life where you thought nothing more could be told, where the pages seemed blank due to the absence of hope or perspective. Now I am the one directing every matter related to your well-being and growth. You no longer need to strive to control every detail, nor torment yourself trying to understand every movement of this transformation. The only thing I ask of you is to surrender completely the direction of your journey to me, to trust in my perfect way of orchestrating events. Under my sovereign control, every piece of the puzzle of your existence is being placed in its rightful position, not necessarily as you imagined it should be, but exactly as I planned from before the foundation of the world, when I conceived you in my eternal heart. Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. Every decision you made with a trembling heart of uncertainty, every difficult conversation you faced within your home, every word you swallowed out of prudence or exhaustion, all of it has been recorded in my eternal books. Hearts that once seemed too hardened to be touched are being softened by the gentle yet irresistible work of my Spirit. Resistance that appeared impenetrable is now yielding, like ice melting beneath the warmth of spring. What once felt distant, that reconciliation you longed for, the peace that escaped you for so long, the sense of purpose that was lost amid disappointments, is now drawing near with steady steps. I am rekindling the warmth that had faded in important relationships, reconnecting bonds that seemed gone forever, and laying firm foundations of truth and compassion in places where only pain, bitterness, and hasty judgments once dwelled. Like an experienced gardener who knows exactly when and where to plant, I am preparing the soil of your heart for an abundant harvest of joy, peace, and fulfillment. Comment: God is restoring relationships and reviving dreams I thought were dead. I am building something completely new in your life, and you are not merely a passive observer of this transformation. You are a vital piece, an active participant in this divine work that transcends your present understanding. You will have a meaningful and irreplaceable role in this new chapter that is unfolding. The visions I once showed you, the dreams I planted in your heart, were not empty illusions nor the product of an overly fertile imagination. They were strategic preparations for this very moment. What seemed forgotten by time will be remembered with multiplied glory, because my perfect time has come. I have carefully watched every step you have taken, even those taken in fear and trembling, when your legs could barely hold you up under the weight of circumstances. Nothing, absolutely nothing, has escaped my loving watch. Every difficult decision you faced, every silence you kept out of wisdom or emotional exhaustion, every act of kindness you offered even while you yourself were wounded and in need of care, all of it was seen, recorded, and treasured by me. Nothing was in vain, no effort went unnoticed. What you considered small, weak, or insufficient, I took into my own hands and transformed into a powerful seed for such a time as this that is now unfolding. What you surrendered in sincerity, even when it cost you tears and sacrifice, I have used to prepare the fertile ground from which the new season of your life is now springing forth. My dear child, the moment has come to establish a completely new measure over your existence. What I am about to entrust into your hands requires a spiritual maturity that has been carefully cultivated through the seasons of preparation you have already walked through. You will no longer be driven by the impulses of the immediate, nor be carried away by the waves of fleeting emotions that once dictated your decisions. The urgencies of others, which so often pulled you away from what truly mattered, will no longer have the power to drag you away from your divine purpose. What now begins to flow through you carries a depth that is not moved by external pressure nor shaken by circumstantial storms. What you carry from this moment on will be sustained from the deepest root of your being, not by superficial appearances that impress human eyes. You will no longer need to prove your abilities to feel worthy before men, nor will you strive to convince others of your legitimacy in order to feel accepted in their circles. Your affirmation and identity come exclusively from my voice resounding in your spirit, not from the volatile and conditional approval of men who cannot always comprehend the paths by which I lead you. There are issues and situations that will simply cease to affect you, not because your heart has hardened or because you have become insensitive to the pain of others, but because your spirit has been tuned like a musical instrument that now resonates in harmony with heavenly frequencies. That which once confused you and left you lost in the midst of complex decisions will no longer possess the same disturbing power over your mind. What previously provoked fear and anxiety will now be faced with a serene firmness that flows naturally from one who has been established in the eternal perspective. Situations that once paralyzed you with their complexity or intensity will now be overcome with a supernatural calm that is born only in those who have learned to lean not on their own limited strength but on the unshakable rock of divine faithfulness. This is not emotional indifference or spiritual coldness. It is a deep peace that does not depend on what happens around you but on the one who sustains you from within. You are being called into a higher understanding that transcends mere intellectual knowledge, not so that you may simply know more information, but so that you may live from a completely transformed perspective. There will be circumstances that are no longer about being resolved according to your desires, but about how you perceive them through the eyes of faith. You will understand that changing your inner perspective is infinitely more powerful than altering your external circumstances, for when your vision aligns with mine, even adversities begin to work in your favor. Not everything will be removed from your path, but everything will be redeemed by my transforming grace, and when something is touched by my redemption, it loses its power to cause you lasting harm. The transformation I am accomplishing in you is not a spark that burns brightly for a moment and then fades away. It is a fire that has been carefully nourished through seasons of preparation and is now beginning to grow strong with enduring consistency. This change will not come with flashy displays or dramatic demonstrations that impress the crowds. It will manifest through an unshakable inner conviction that becomes evident as time unfolds. At first, it may not be perceived by external observers, but its reality will become undeniable as the days go by. Prepare yourself to recognize signs and confirmations you once did not know how to interpret correctly. These signs will not appear to prove you are well or worthy of divine approval, but to constantly remind you that you were never forgotten, not even during the most silent seasons of your journey. Small, seemingly insignificant details will begin to align in ways that cannot be explained by coincidence. Words overheard casually in conversations will bring specific confirmation to questions you have held in your heart. Unexpected encounters with people who seemed gone from your life will open doors of opportunity you were not actively seeking. None of this is a product of chance or luck. It is the visible expression of a design meticulously woven with mathematical precision for this exact moment of your existence. What once seemed chaotic disorder was being woven with divine intentionality, and what you interpreted as distance was in fact the necessary space for what you could not yet comprehend in its fullness to be formed. Now that this divine process is beginning to manifest tangibly, you will not need to defend or justify the changes taking place in your life. What I have deposited within you will speak for itself with an eloquence beyond human words. You will not need to explain in detail your process of transformation or justify the changes in your perspective and behavior to those who cannot understand the work I do in human hearts. There will be people who may not fully grasp what is happening with you, yet they will still recognize that something real and profound is manifesting in your life. That which is born from the eternal dimension always finds its rightful place in the natural world, even among those who are not actively seeking spiritual reality. Something extraordinary has been growing in silence, far beyond what you can perceive with your limited natural senses. This process has been delicate and careful, hidden from the curious eyes of many, yet deeply active at the very core of your being. For long seasons it was invisible to others, and even to yourself at times when doubt clouded your spiritual perception. Yet a transformation has been conceived that does not depend on external noise or social approval, but on the inner work only I can accomplish with absolute perfection. This time was not wasted or lost. It was a period of intentional sowing, where every experience, every tear, every moment of apparent inactivity contributed to the development of what is now ready to emerge into the light. Much of what was removed from your life during this process was not taken because it lacked value or importance, but because it was incompatible with what I was establishing for your new season. Some relationships drifted apart not out of rejection, but because paths were being directed toward different destinations that required this separation, whether temporary or permanent. What once represented an endless source of mental and emotional torment will be miraculously transformed into a wellspring of practical wisdom for your journey and for the aid of those who will cross your path. Painful memories will no longer act as open wounds that bleed at the slightest touch. They will become distinguishing marks of growth and spiritual maturity. The past will no longer serve as a heavy anchor preventing you from sailing toward the future I have prepared. It will instead become a valuable lesson sealed by my grace, where each difficult experience contributes to your ability to understand and help others facing similar struggles. New spaces of opportunity will open before you, spaces that do not depend on your personal contacts, natural skills, or carefully laid strategies. There are doors being prepared behind the curtains of eternity that will open solely by my sovereign hand. These doors will not open because you insisted with human determination, nor because you deserve more than others around you, but simply because the appointed time I set before the foundation of the world has arrived. When this divinely orchestrated moment comes, you will marvel at how no force in the universe will be able to close what I open for you. No human resistance, no spiritual opposition, no adverse circumstance will be able to stop the fulfillment of what has been designed specifically for your life, even before you began to cry out for these opportunities in prayer. I will also bring about a deep transformation in the atmosphere of your thoughts. The inner noise that so often interfered with your rest and peace, that inner dialogue that kept you awake through the night, will begin to gradually grow silent. This change will not occur because your external environment suddenly improves, but because an inner clarity will arise, shielding you from unnecessary mental exhaustion. You will no longer lose yourself in the labyrinths of unfounded assumptions, nor be trapped in the hasty conclusions your mind builds when it lacks complete information. Your mind will be governed by a renewed peace, and with that peace will come an inner strength you have not yet fully known. This strength will not manifest as an emotional euphoria that rises and falls with circumstances. It will be a solid consistency, an inner firmness that does not depend on the mood of the day, the weather, or the fluctuating opinions of those around you. It will be a profound stability born at the very center of your being, flowing like a river that never ceases its course regardless of the season's changes. There is no need for you to rush in your journey or chase your goals in desperate haste. The flow of what I am working in your life does not demand frantic speed. It requires spiritual sensitivity to discern the right rhythm. I do not want you to do more out of external or internal pressure. I want you to learn to move in the cadence of what is sustainable in the long run, for this work is not temporary or fleeting. You will not always be understood. You will often walk ahead of others' understanding. Today, the measure of your success will no longer lie in human recognition, but in the steadiness of your walk and the peace that accompanies you. Let that peace be your standard. Follow it. It will help you recognize the right time to speak and the right time to remain silent, the right time to begin and the right time to end. Trust that the keys I will give you will open not only doors but hearts, and that many doors, when opened, will reveal paths that were once hidden from you. Know, my beloved, that I hear the sighs you do not dare to speak and the tears you have hidden even from yourself. I have seen you in the early hours when you look to the sky for a sign, feeling the weight of old stories that insist on defining your present. I was with you in every doubt, in every hesitation, in every small step that seemed insignificant. I did not turn away. And now, at this hour, I want you to accept the voice that says, rise with confidence. Move forward without the urgency to prove yourself to the world. The security I offer you does not depend on fleeting results but on the certainty that I direct your path with purpose. Entrust to me, with confidence, the helm of your journey. Do not worry about the pieces that still do not fit. I am adjusting them silently. Soon you will see changes that need no proclamation, because they will be made visible by the quality of your life, more peace in decisions, greater clarity of intention, and a renewed sense of direction. And when they ask you where your calm comes from, you may say that it is the fruit of one who walks beside you. Continue thus, with a serene heart, knowing that the best is yet to come. With love, God. Hope this message has been an inspiration to you. If it touched your heart, write Amen in the comments and share it with someone who also needs to hear this word. I invite you to click on the first comment, where you will find a special prayer and a suggestion to strengthen your spiritual journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring content like this. See you tomorrow.